Welcome to day 3 of the Rock Your Closet Challenge. I'm so excited that you're here. Let's make sure that everybody is up and running and that the audio is working. There we go. All right, so I'm really excited that you're here because day 3 is the day that we talk about clothing. That's right, we're going to finally pull out the clothes from our closet and we're going to decide on keep or go and make all of those tough decisions that will make the biggest impact in our closet. I hope you're ready for this. Now, I'm going to try something a little bit different. So as you hop on, let me know who's here in the chat area, where you're joining from. I can't always see your name. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Make sure that they're on topic about the clothes because we've already talked about some other things before and we will talk about more this week. So for this video, stick to the clothing topic. But if you have other questions, go ahead and post them in the Facebook group. I'm glad to answer all your questions. I see Janelle's hopped on. Hi, Janelle. Pardon the dogs if they bark. That's the joy of live. All right, so I figured we would start off actually in my bedroom with my closet, and I wanted to share my absolute favorite, super easy trick to making clothing decisions so much easier. Are you ready for this? Let's see if this works. I'm going to try to share. There we are. Okay. You can probably see me better now. Hopefully it was not too bad. So once you have your whole pile of all of the clothes from your closet, you want to sort them into just keep or go. We're only making 2 decisions. That way it makes it so much easier than trying to decide, okay, is it work clothes? Is it personal clothes? Do I love it? Do I hate it? Is it short sleeve? Is it long sleeve? When you have too many categories and too many steps, it gets really hard to figure out which category goes in. Your brain has to engage way too much. So one of the things you hear me talk about all the time is broad categories. We're starting with keep or go. Some of them will be obvious. So as you're going through your clothing, simply once you've pulled it all out, we don't care what the category is as far as where it's going to go back in the closet, but you will decide, is this something I want to keep or is this something that should go? Like, for example, this one I got in Ireland. Sometimes I wear it. I have not worn it a whole lot lately. This one is one of those where that's my first problem. I'm not sure if it's keep or go yet. So when you hit that, if it's not an obvious keep or an obvious go, this is where we start to decide what level of friendship we have with this clothing item. All right. So I sort these into how close you are to the clothes. I've got 3 categories that I use for friendship. I've got best friend. So a best friend would be something like, oh, here's a good one. This is one of my favorite lounge shirts. This is just a sweatshirt. I actually bought it when I was engaged and saved it until the day that I was married and I could lounge in my wifey lounge shirt, and it's super cozy. So this is one where I go to the closet to look for it. I remember it's in my closet. It's super comfy and I absolutely love it. So it's a best friend. So this would go in my best friends category, and you'll lay out your categories in different piles. Then you have just your friends, ones that you like. That's where that Ireland shirt comes in. Ones that you like, you wear them sometimes, but you don't necessarily go to your closet looking for them. If they were not there, you may not even notice, or if they were not there, you would probably find something different to wear and not feel like it's the end of the world, but you do enjoy them. They're just not that go-to all the time. So that one would probably go in my friends, just because it does have those memories attached to it. And then there are the ones that are just acquaintances. So the acquaintances are the items in your closet that you never even remember that are there. And you look at, you usually don't grab them out. Either they're uncomfortable, you don't have something to match them. There's something else that you tend to grab that falls into that category that you like more. The acquaintances are the ones that if they were gone, you really would not notice because you never even remember that you have them and you very rarely wear them. So for example, I have a couple of acquaintances here, I'm sure. Actually, I tend to go through my closet a whole lot more often than, and on day 5, I will share some of my tips for purging. So it makes it harder for me to find acquaintances because most of mine disappear with my purging tips, but I'll tell you those on day 5. So this here is definitely an acquaintance. It's one where I don't even remember that I have it. And I would never go looking for this. And really, if I'm looking for kind of the loungy type of shirt, I would probably go for my wifey shirt or something like that. So this is going to go in the Acquaintances. I like it. It's comfortable. It fits me well. I'm not 100% sure that it should go yet, but as far as a maybe, it's an Acquaintance. Then you have just the enemies. So they are just an instant go. Those are the ones that they're uncomfortable, so you don't wear them, or you don't feel good in them, whether you don't feel like you look good in them, or they have a bad memory associated with them. For some reason, you're not wearing them and you don't like to wear them. There's no reason to keep them. And you don't have to decide where they're going yet. It does not matter if you're selling it, if you're donating it, and if you're trashing it. Who cares? Just put it in the go pile. So the enemies go in the go pile. And you're just going to go through all of the clothes that you've pulled out from your closet, and you will sort them into basically keep or go. So what kind of level of friendship is it? Like my Hogwarts shirt, I've got some great fun memories in this. I do look for it once in a great while. I don't look for it all the time. It's a little on the tighter side, especially right now after the holidays. But this one is probably more of a friend. It's not a best friend, but it's not an acquaintance because I look for it. Here's a best friend. This one I just recently got. I have, my stepdaughter has one that matches, so we like to wear our matching tops together, and it's super cozy to lounge in. You're going to do that throughout the whole pile. So best friend, friend, acquaintance, or go. Once you have those piles all sorted out, now you have 4 piles. Go, we know, is leaving the house. You don't need to decide where that's going yet. The best friends, we know. Those just go back in the closet. They're a keep. You don't need to let go of your best friends because they're ones that you absolutely love and wear all the time. Whatever laundry you did this week, you probably have used the best friends. Oh, sorry. My microphone got stuck. You've probably used a lot of your best friends this week from your laundry. So when you finish your laundry today, because our goal was to have it done today so we can incorporate it into our closet, when you finish your laundry, look through those, and it's okay if you don't have a whole lot that you can let go of, because those those are all of your best friends for the most part, or they're very useful. Sometimes our best friends are simply useful. So if you, for example, work in the medical field and have scrubs that you wear for work, then you can even sort your scrubs into best friends, friends, acquaintances, as far as how cozy they are. But some of your best friends might not be ones that you love. They're just very useful. So the best friends we know, these automatically are going to go back into the closet because they are ones that you look for, ones that you love, ones that you feel good in, and you want to make sure that you have them available. Then we're left with our friends and our acquaintances. So our friends, here we go. Our friends that we have, if they can fit in your closet after you fit the best friends, then these are great ones to just fill in the blanks. Put them back in your closet as long as you have space. And usually after you've sorted out best friends, friends, and acquaintances, you usually do have space for best friends and friends if you've done the sorting correctly. Because realistically, we're not wearing all of the clothes in our closet. We can only wear so many clothes each week, and eventually we do laundry, hopefully. The more often you do laundry, the fewer clothes you need. I will tell you that. So it's also easier to do laundry more often because the loads are smaller. That way you aren't dreading an entire laundry day. But put all of your friends back into the closet in whatever way you want to. We will talk about putting those finishing touches on your closet on Friday. So on Friday, I'll tell you some of my tricks for a self-purging closet, for making it look nice and neat. Tomorrow, we'll talk about bins and hangers and different types of things to use in your closet. So right now, just get them back into your closet in a neat and organized fashion. You can categorize them however you want, whether you categorize by sleeve type. Like I know me, I like, is it long sleeve, mid sleeve, short sleeve, or sleeveless? Because that's how I tend to choose my clothes. But you can go by work, formal, casual, however you want. You can color code them. It's fine. Best friends and friends are back in the closet. And then you're left with your acquaintances and any friends that had not fit in your closet. Now the acquaintances, that's where you have to start making the tough decisions. But when you look at your closet now, you have a lot of clothes probably in there with your best friends and friends. And those are all clothes that you feel amazing in. So you can be really tough on your acquaintance category and you probably won't miss them. So think about why they're an acquaintance. Are they uncomfortable? Do they not fit right? Maybe they're the wrong size, which we'll talk about the wrong size. I see somebody just asked about wrong size. We'll talk about that in just a moment. But do they just not fit well? Are they wrong sized? Are they not comfortable? Do you not have something that matches? And if it's something as simple as there's nothing that matches them, if you love, love, love them, then maybe you need to take a picture of it. So that way, when you go to the store, you can find something that would match it and you have a picture of it there with you, or even put it in your car. So you remember when you're out and about to stop by the store and find something that matches, or order something online that matches it. If it's important enough to find a match, then you will find one soon. If you don't find one soon, then it's not that important. So you can probably let it go. And then you can put it in the go pile. So the acquaintances, be super tough and strict on yourself. But these are the ones that a lot of them should probably go, and only a few of them should end up being a keep. And then, of course, there's your go pile. So once you're left with your go pile, so your acquaintances, this one is actually going to go in my go pile because I do have other things that I reach for instead. So even though this is nice and it's comfortable and I reach for it once in a while, there are other things I like better. So this is really just getting in the way of the things that I like better. I've got something else that suits this purpose. So this is part of my go. Once everything's back in your closet, including the folded clothes that you pulled out, then all of those go items, now's when you can sort them out. If they are stained, ripped, or too damaged, just in the trash, or you can donate them to one of those projects that either turns them into rags, like those drop boxes that you see in the parking lots. A lot of times they just repurpose those clothes, or into a pet charity. It's up to you. It's also okay to throw things away. We do not shame people for just throwing things away here, because the act of letting it go is the important part. And once that gets easier, that's when you can start to decide what your normal donation spots are. So no guilt here. But if it's damaged, then trash, or specific donate if you have a place. If it's still in good condition, then you can drop it off at a charity. If it's really expensive or still has the tags on and really nice, if you have a local consignment shop, or if you like to sell on maybe like Facebook groups, something like that, that's absolutely okay. Just make sure not to make it a huge project to let go of your things. Because if you have too many specific places you have to drop things off at in order to donate them, or specific people, if you have a bunch of specific people to give things to, then that just becomes more stuff on your to-do list. And it makes getting rid of things stressful. And your brain remembers that. It remembers, oh my goodness, getting rid of things is so much work. So I'll just hold on to it because it's easier. And we want to take that out of our brains. We don't want our minds to think that letting go of things is work. And that's why sometimes it is okay to throw away while you're just getting into the habit and purging and forming these new habits. It's okay to throw things away if you need to, or just donate them all to whatever charity's easiest. I do that myself sometimes. I'm very busy, and they would stay in my house if there was not a Goodwill drop off nearby. And I'll just drop them off at Goodwill. Sometimes they're even, I could have made money off of them, but the fact is I don't have the time or mental energy sometimes to go through the extra steps to make the money off of them. But I need the space back because mentally it's draining. So no shame, decide where your goes go, bag them up into whatever place they go. Trash bags for trash, go ahead and put them in boxes, or clear trash bags or something that's labeled for if you're dropping up at a charity or consignment. And then put them in your car if it's charity or consignment. And if it's already in your car, then the next time you're out, you can just drop them off. You don't need to have all of this sitting around in your house. All right, so as far as storage of clothing, we will be talking about where to store different types of clothes and how to rotate out your seasons and things like that tomorrow and Friday. So I'm not going to talk about that in depth right now, but there will be a video on that. I see Michelle says, I love this. My best friends are the clothes I take when I travel. This is a great way to sort. Perfect. I love to take my best friends traveling with me too. Now, Rebecca asked, this leads me into our next topic. Rebecca asked, I get paralyzed about knowing what clothes to keep due to fluctuating weight. And that is a very real problem. A lot of us have various sizes that we realistically could get back into again. So what I say with the wrong size clothes, you can keep one or two pieces out. Like I mentioned that I have my not so loose anymore Hogwarts shirt. And I know right now it's because I've added the holiday fluff and this will not feel quite so tight around my middle soon. So I can keep one or two things, maybe a pair of jeans and a shirt out and in my area so that I can see when I get back into that size again and when it's comfortable again. And every once in a while I can try it on and just see if I'm there yet. But the bulk of clothes that are in the closet, if they're not the right size, I say take them out of that main closet and put them maybe in a storage bin and mark the storage bin of what size those clothes are. So for example, if you're a size 10 right now and you're normally a size 8, or if you're a size 22 and you're normally a size 20, it doesn't matter, write clothing size 20 on the bin. And that way, once you've lost that weight to get down to size 20 again, you can pull out that bin and reincorporate those clothes into your closet. But it's not doing your self-esteem any good to keep them in your closet when you're not fitting in them. So keep one or two that you can just do the test with to see if they fit, like that one pair of size 20 jeans, the one size 20 shirt or dress, and then the rest of them, box them up or put them on a very high shelf, nicely folded, label what size it is, especially if your weight fluctuates greatly, then you can have a size 20 bin, you can have a size 18 bin, and you'll know which size is which. And as soon as you hit that size, if your weight fluctuates often back to the heavier side too, that's okay. Now change that size 20 bin to a size 22, put the size 22s in there that you're not going to wear, pull out the size 20s, and you can fluctuate your closet that way. It's similar to what I do for seasonal clothes with winter and summer. I pull out my winter and keep them in a bin, and then during summertime, I switch them out. But the main thing is your self-esteem is damaged every single morning when you're looking through clothes. And if you're looking through your clothing and you're going, doesn't fit, doesn't fit, doesn't fit, doesn't fit, how does that make you feel? Awful, right? Or I don't feel good in them, or I look ugly in it. I don't feel attractive in it. Even if it's the right size for you and you just feel a little heavy for it, put it in the other size bin. Because the goal is for you to look at your closet and think, okay, this fits and I look good in it. This fits and I look good in it. What does that do to your mental side? That makes you feel great, right? You can conquer anything that day, because what a great start to your day. So go ahead, either let go of the wrong size clothes. If you're a size 20 and you just got out of the 22 and you never want to get back to the 22 again and you're committed to that, let them go, donate them. Or I see a great idea, which is perfect to mention. I'm not sure who said this, but she says she's a seamstress and has sewn many of her items. She asks the decision how to get rid of those beautiful items since she spends so much time sewing them. But have a seamstress take those larger clothes and make them smaller for you. Have them bring in the waistline a little bit if there's something that you absolutely love and you've gotten to a smaller size. It's absolutely okay. Or have them let it out if it's something that you can. So just get them out of your closet if they're the wrong size. That's the main thing. And you can keep that bin in a storage closet, or if you have an air-conditioned attic or you're not in Florida like I am, then maybe in the attic, things like that. Top shelf of your closet, just not in your normal view. So as far as having the emotional side to your clothing, like, I'm not sure who you are. Let me know what your name is in the chat. This leads me to our final topic for today. What about those emotional clothes? Like I mentioned, my wifey shirt, or even better, my Ireland shirt. What do we do when we've got the emotional attachment to it, but that's really the main thing that we have? We're not actually wearing the clothes anymore, especially if you've put your hands on them and put work into them, like sewing them like the seamstress did. Well, I will be having a webinar, and later today I will share the registration page with you in the Facebook group and through email on dealing with memorabilia. But if you're not wearing the clothes, but it's just the memory, then these clothes are actually memorabilia. They are not clothes that should be in your closet. So take them out of your closet and put them in your memorabilia bin. And during the webinar, I'm going to share a number of things that I do with memorabilia, such as this Ireland shirt. And this one actually might end up in my memorabilia closet because really I'm not wearing it. I think that's probably a better idea now that I'm thinking about it even better. But You could make it into a pillow. You could have a quilt made out of some of your absolute favorites. There are various things that you can do. And if you know a seamstress, like our Facebook user is, then you can hire them to turn them into something if you're like me and you can't sew a button on, because I really can't. That's not my skill set. But I have hired seamstresses before and friends who can sew to turn things into pillows or aprons or quilts. And during that memorabilia webinar, when I talk about how to sort your memorabilia and deal with all of those things that have the memories, that's when I'll go really in depth into some really cool ways to either repurpose them, get them where you can display them, protect them. If you're going to let them go, where some things like heirlooms can be sold or donated, and how to make the decisions on your memorabilia. But if it's clothing and it's in your closet because of the memory and you're not wearing it, take it out and put it in your memorabilia bin, because that's what it really is. And it's just taking up space, hanging in your closet if you're not actually wearing it. All right, so I'm going to answer some of the questions. I'm not sure who asked, but she says, are these videos going to stay live after the challenge? I'm on work all week, so would like to look over it at the weekend and in the future. Absolutely. So throughout the whole challenge and throughout the challenge weekend, these videos will be available in the Facebook unit section. So you have the full weekend to work through them. I will probably even keep them up longer than that. I only guarantee that they will be up until this upcoming Monday, but usually I try to keep them up until the next challenge comes, or at least an extra week for you. But I know that the weekends are a huge work time for homework, so I will leave those up for you. Arlene says, I have piles and garbage bags in the closet. What can I do? So Arlene, it depends on what the piles in the garbage bags are for. Are they clothes that you're actively wearing, or are they things that you've already separated out to donate? Why are they in the garbage bags, and what is that category that you use to put them in there? If they're clothes that you're still planning to actively use, then I would open up one bag at a time and do the keep or go method and be really, really strict on yourself on what you're going to keep and let go of. Now, you might not, when you have an excess of clothes like that, where they're not even all in the closet and there's a lot of overflow, you might not let go of everything that you will eventually let go of at one time. And that is okay. When we have a whole lot of something, the first time you sort through it or the second time, you rarely get rid of all that you will get rid of. But every little bit counts. So just tell yourself that you don't have to get rid of anything. Give yourself permission to keep it all. And that will just free up your brain and you'll start letting go of things like crazy. But go through it. And then maybe 3 months later, go through it again. And then 3 months after that, go through it again. And then on Friday, in the video on Friday, I'm going to share my big trick that I use to help purge my clothes in my closet year round and see what I'm actually wearing. And that trick, I think, will help you out a lot too. So the more you can get incorporated into your closet and out of the bags, though, the better. Kelly says, working on my pictures and picture frames to organize onto my new shelves and roll it into your spare room closet. Absolutely. I love that. On Friday, I keep having to remember which day is which. On Friday, we will also be talking about some really fun ways to put finishing touches on your closet. And one of them is using artwork like Kelly's doing. So that is awesome. We did have Patricia. I will talk more about storing clothes by season tomorrow, but it is completely up to you. If you have the space for all of them to hang or be stored in your closet, that's great. You can keep them all there. But a lot of times I will take whatever season it isn't, put them in a bin, and put them either high up in the closet or in a different closet, depending on where you have storage space, under a bed, wherever it is, and separate them out. And then you can use that bin when the seasons change. You can do the swap out where, you know, when winter comes, all the summer clothes go in that bin and the winter clothes come out. And then at the end of that season, all the winter clothes go in and then the summer clothes come back out. And that one bin can be the off-season clothes. Sometimes when, like here in Florida, we have winter one day and summer the next. So it can go from 80 to 60 during the day. Sometimes that bin has to just sit out during the week or a couple weeks. But yeah, and sometimes I only get part of it out and part has to, like, I have to have a mix of seasons a lot of times, but you can adapt as much as you need to. And hello, everybody else who joined. Just reading through. Gloria says that she loves how I break it into tiny steps. Yes, it's the bite-sized steps that make it all so much easier, because if you try to do huge, massive steps in a massive project, then it's overwhelming. But if you make it into a process where there's not a deadline and not huge, massive tasks, then it makes it so much easier. Jenny says she's a bit behind with the assignments, but hopes to catch up. She needs all the closet help that she can get. Don't worry about being behind. There's no deadline and nobody's keeping track of you. So we promise not to give you the stink eye if you're a little bit behind and you have the whole weekend as well. Just keep taking those steps. Every step forward is a win. So you are not behind, girl. I am right here with you. You've got this. Diane says, I'm happy these videos will be available after each day as I won't be able to see the live videos. Going to be out of town for a few days and hate to miss out. I also like to watch again to review. Absolutely, Diane. Well, enjoy your trip out of town. Be safe and have a good time. But I want to make sure that everybody has access to the videos. Sure. Yeah, Kelly says she's got a great one. Don't leave anything in your closet that doesn't fit unless you attach a note to it. Is it too small? If someone has to bring clothes to you from your closet in an emergency, do you want them to bring clothes that fit? That's such a good point. When she dropped 33 pounds, she shopped in her own bins and gave away the larger size. She has one bin left for 25 less pounds that she'll get rid of. That's fantastic. Yes, do not keep them in your closet if they don't fit. Just put them in a bin with a separate note, and it's true. If you ended up having to go to the hospital or something, do you really want somebody to bring anything that they see in your closet? A lot of times it might not fit you. Yeah, Karen's going to invite her daughter to help her sort. Yes. Thank you, sweetheart. I can do this. You can. You absolutely can. And we have how do you purge shoes? I do exactly the same thing. Sort them into best friends, friends, acquaintances, and enemies. Let the enemies go. Really think those best friends you must be using all the time. The friends you have to be actually pulling out using once in a while. Shoes are tough. We all have these great plans for our shoes, but really think about, is it what's going on in your life right now or in the near future, or was it a past life? Because I know that for the longest time, I had some beautiful high heels that I used to wear all the time, and my brain said, oh, these are best friends. The reality is I have not worn high heels except for I've got one pair that I've worn maybe once a year. So I finally had to let those go because they aren't best friends. They used to be. But now, today, they are no longer best friends. And that was from pre-COVID. So they've not been best friends for a long time. I'm not comfortable in high heels anymore. I'm out of the habit. They had to go. I kept my one pair of high heels that go with my favorite dress for the one time that I use them. And then every time I wear them, I regret it. But I keep them. Otherwise, I'd buy one pair and it would be bad. So be really tough on the shoes because they take up a lot of space, but same system. Okay, so Diane says, I'll miss the live on Memorabilia, and I do have specific questions. Should I email you today? The Memorabilia is actually not one of these live videos during the challenge. It is a separate webinar that will happen next week. It's a paid webinar, but it is something that you can register for separately, and you would get the replay afterwards. So as far as Memorabilia, we're not going into Memorabilia this week, aside from just the little bit that I talked about today. But if you have questions about the Memorabilia webinar, feel free to email me later today. I will send out the email and I'll post in the Facebook group about that Memorabilia webinar, how you can register, how much it is. It's not very expensive, but it's a one-time event that's separate from this challenge. So good question. Yeah, and Kelly just says that she separates out her long sleeve clothes to a separate area from the normal Florida day clothes, which is smart. Because in Florida, we don't get to wear a long sleeve much. But these are fantastic questions. If you have any more questions or need anything else, remember, hop over to the Facebook group. That's where all sorts of conversations are happening right now. We can support each other. We can answer each other's questions. And I pop in the group, and Stephanie is in the group a lot, helping you all out and getting your questions answered as well. And make sure to encourage each other there. So if you see somebody's post or a photo, a before and after photo, or if they're struggling, just give them a virtual hug. Tell them that they're doing amazing. And remember, don't judge each other. So don't tell people that they need to donate something if they're just excited that they're finally letting go. Just celebrate everybody for where they're at and the progress they're making, because we don't know each other's story. And it's all about giving each other virtual hugs and supporting each other, right? But you're all doing absolutely amazing. I'm thrilled to have you here. I see that Lady Marmar said during the pandemic, she donated 111 pairs of shoes high heels mostly. That's fantastic. That's so much extra space. And Paula asked about her wedding shoes of 20 years ago that don't fit. What do I do with them? In general, I would say it might be great to take a picture and donate them if they're still in good shape. If you're not really wearing them, I will go a lot more into various options within that paid webinar, the Memorabilia webinar that will be announced later. But in general, I'd say take a picture and donate them. But there are some other options that you can get creative with, but I'd say get them out of your normal shoes because they're just taking up space. Yes, so Michelle says, as a performer, she has to keep a lot more options than others. She has to split or use 2 closets. So she's so happy that you have a great way to organize both. Yes, and I come from a theater background. I was a producer and an actress and theater manager for a long time. So I know as performers, we have to be able to pull out just about anything. And I did have one closet for my regular clothes, the me clothes. And I had either a closet, depending on where I lived, either a closet for my performance clothes, for character clothes, or dance shoes and dance clothes. Or if I did not have an extra closet, I had bins. And I would just separate out the bins such as, character costumes, dance wear, that type of thing. And I'd separate them out that way. So a lot of times I say, if you are a performer and you have things that you're not using constantly, get them out of your main closet or the main workable area of your closet, put them high up, put them in another closet or in a bin. But yes, you do need to keep a lot extra, Michelle, if you are a performer. I hear you. So awesome. Thank you all so much. You're so welcome, everybody. Thank you, Kelly. And Michelle says, ooh, bins, great idea. And tomorrow during the video, we are talking about some things that you can do to add extra space and get your closet more organized. So some of my favorite bins to use, some of my favorite tricks as far as adding more space to the closet, my favorite hangers to use, all of those types of things. And I'll touch a little bit more on rotating out the winter and summer clothes, things like that. So thank you for being absolutely amazing. Keep up the good work. I have loved seeing your progress. Post your photos in the group. It's a private Facebook group. So you are safe to post your before photos and after photos. They simply inspire everybody there. I love you so much. Ask any more questions that you want on this video. I will try to keep my eyeballs on the video, but mostly in the Facebook group. If you create a post in the Facebook group, that is the easiest way for me to see any questions that you have. I love you so much. Remember, this is only Wednesday. You have day 4 and day 5, Thursday and Friday, and it'll still be up this weekend. So keep taking your tiny little steps and you will get there in no time. I love you. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.